everybody! Welcome to Nerds with Alcohol. I'm Chris.
I'm Russ.
And this is episode 178.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Nerd Basement. I'm sorry I'm a little down today, guys. We'll get into that in a minute. It is 178 back in the Nerd Basement, our ongoing quarantine broadcasts here, but we bring it to you live on Twitch. So please tell all your friends about us, and we're looking to get a few more follows. If we can get some more follows, it can really help us out and help the show. So
yeah, it can.
It is a cloudy, rainy, kind of shitty Tuesday in Michigan, and hopefully the rest of the week it's gonna start getting better. But for the time being, it's raining and flooding, and I swear, they keep talking about how 2020 is just like there's always the joke, hey, the year before it was the worst year ever, and then the year after it's like, here, hold my beer.
Yeah.
And I think it has never been truer with 2020. If we didn't have people, celebrities die, we have a global pandemic that is at the very least changing the world.
Yep.
Then we have murder hornets. We've got massive flooding in Michigan that a dam has burst in like central Michigan.
Well, there's
the actual fuck.
Well, actually, a levee broke at Lake Ogama. And so the lake is flooding. That's where Renee's parents have their cabin. And I was seeing pictured, it actually washed out one of the roads. I mean, like, to the point where the road is gone. It's not it's flooded, the road is gone.
Yeah, I saw some pictures too.
Yeah.
I just was looking at the news report, and they're telling people to evacuate their homes. Fucking evacuate their homes. Like, Michigan doesn't already, like, Michigan itself, but the entire country, but particularly us in Michigan, like, we're not already dealing with enough shit.
Yeah.
So, for those of you guys who know, like I said, I'm a little down. I just found out about maybe an hour and a half ago that Theater Bazaar has been is another victim of the COVID-19 quarantine, and the people who run Theater Bazaars have decided to cancel it for the year. They'll call it hashtag the slumbering, and that Zombo will return next year stronger than ever. And, so I'm just really bummed out. I've been doing this since 2010. I was part of the makeup team since 2010. I've kind of been a part of it ever since it moved from the original site and then eventually moved to the Masonic Temple in Detroit. And I'm just bummed out, man. I'm just super bummed out now,
Mm-hmm.
And just so many of the things that I love are just being either called off or postponed, and not just things that I love, but also things that I make a living at.
Yep.
And so because Theater Bazaar is a paid gig for me, and it's a lot of work, but and it's also one of those gigs where you're there's a huge community tied to it. So we're very much a big family, and October's gonna be weird this year. Everything's gonna be weird. Everything's gonna be weird. Everything's gonna be weird. It's all weird.
It's already
it's
weird.
All weird and bad and strange, and I'm fucking stressed out.
Yeah. Well,
how was your week?
Well, I mean, we had gaming on Saturday. That was good.
It was.
That was a good time. Some really good role play.
Some really good role play. I got to give it up to Renee's brother Pete. He really knocked it out of the park with his role playing. He plays a halfling character who has a phobia of goblins, and we got into a fight with goblins, and he froze, and he goes, "That's what my character would do."
Yep.
He didn't, and he's a wizard, correct?
Yeah.
He's a wizard character. I mean, it would be great to have him throwing spells around, but his character has a phobia, has a paralyzing fear of goblins. This character was ready to go into a tower that he knew had a dragon in it. Was like, yeah, let's go check it out. But then he runs into 3 goblins, and he freezes.
Misty steps his ass out of there.
Yeah, just Misty stepped his ass out. So as much as frustrating as that was, I really gotta hand it to him with the role play aspect. That was really great, and I know he listened. So you know, well done, sir.
That was a great time. That really was.
It was a good time. It was a good time.
That was the high point of my week, though. I mean, the rest of my week was all right. Yesterday was Renee's birthday.
Yes. Happy birthday to our lovely content mistress, Renee, your wife.
Yep.
The big 3-0.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Holy shit.
Whole new decade. But yeah, we opened up a bottle of port that we'd had, and celebrated with that last night. It's a port it was bottled in 2003.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty damn good. We still have a bunch, so because it's 20 proof, I think, or yeah.
Now I've had port, and I like it. But please, why don't you explain to our listeners, for those of you who may not, for those who may not understand exactly what port is, because it is a little more of a kind of a specialty alcohol. I mean, it's not a wine, but it's not a liquor. But
well,
it's not
it is actually a wine.
We lost each other.
Oh. Yep. Wow.
Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Wow. Yeah, I saw the stream freeze up there. But yeah, I dared to actually search for something online. So.
Oh, you may want to hold off on that then.
Yeah. But yeah,
just kind of explain what port is, because it's not exactly a wine. It's not a mead. Well, it's not a liquor.
Yeah, it actually is a wine. It is a type of wine. It is a Portuguese fortified wine, to be specific. Right. But it's usually stronger. What it is it's left in barrels longer. So as Renee just said, fortified wine. In the chat. So, but yeah, it is a fortified wine, which she can tell it better than I can as far as what that actually means. But it's basically a stronger wine, is what it is. It's left in barrels longer, it ages longer, so the alcohol content builds up as as the amount in the barrel, I believe, goes down, because the longer you leave it in barrels, the less you have because of evaporation, and so you're left with a higher concentration in there. So it's actually delicious. This particular one tasted kind of like chocolate covered raisins.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And you drink it in these little tiny shot glass type things. But it's made for sipping, not for shooting. But it was really good. I was pretty impressed with it.
Very, very cool. Very cool. What else?
Other than that, like I said, gaming, and that was about it. We did get a gift yesterday from a fan of the show.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's a buddy of mine from curling that I know he listens not all the time, but he listens quite a bit. But he said he was looking for some cards for himself, and so he decided, and he found these and thought that I would like them, so he actually sent them to me. And it was addressed to me at Nerds with Alcohol show, at our Nerds with Alcohol podcast, and it's I'll show you this. It's that one and that one. So it's nice. Light side and dark side. Very cool. The cards themselves are actually pretty cool. That basically they're the exact same decks. They're just they just have different colors on the back.
Right.
But yeah, it's like the backs are like that. And then the cards themselves are just like regular cards.
Standard cards.
Yeah, except that like the Joker is BB-8.
Oh, neat. Okay.
And then whatever this droid is, I don't know its name yet.
Yeah.
And then like all the aces have something on them, like the ace of spades is an X-wing.
Very cool.
So a stylized deck, sure.
Yeah, and each one of the suits has different characters. So you've got like Boba Fett,
yeah,
Amidala.
It's appropriate.
Yeah, Vader.
Right on.
So I mean, and each one is something different. Like the Ace of Spades is Slave One. So okay. I mean, it's they're really cool. And I can see I will probably be using these. I have no doubt that I will be using these in the future. So.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, so other than that though, not much work. About it. Playing some MechWarrior online. Still having fun doing that.
Right on. I was playing the other night into the wee hours of the night. I was playing Mass Effect Andromeda. I honestly I'm not getting the venom that this game got. About how people it just hated it and stuff. It's okay. It's it's fun. I mean, if anything, maybe the character, some of the character animation, the facial animations are a little weird, but the story's engaging. I'm enjoying it. I'm probably about 70% done, maybe 65% done, 70% done. But I'm enjoying it. But I am looking forward to it being done so that I can move on to my next PlayStation game, or maybe get into playing some other stuff that revisiting some things. I was meaning to go back to playing Fallout 76 now that they made that huge update and made it a little more just. I guess people are saying that it's really improved since they made this big update. So
yeah, I heard nothing but good things or nothing but bad things about that one.
It was okay. It was fun, but it was like there were no humans or there were no NPCs, no human NPCs. So any people that you encountered were other players, and it would mean that you could potentially. It was just hard to drive any kind of first-person story. And people like the first-person story in the Fallout games. They don't necessarily want to just rely on exclusively, humans out there.
Yeah.
So they added in the new update. They added a whole new way of playing the game. There's a better first-person play story. There was a first-person story, but you were guided through these messages that you would find, and so like I said, a lot of people. And it was a free update too. It wasn't like it wasn't like an add-on you had to buy. It was just like, yep, you know what? Here you go, guys. We realized we fucked up. We're gonna fix it. So I really want to check it out because there's there's the building element that's a lot of fun and some cool stuff there. I'm really getting into some of these. I'm tempted to get into Minecraft, but I don't think I want to do that. I know I'd get ridiculously addicted to it if I were to play.
Yeah, that's not one for me.
But I do enjoy some of these other building games. Like I said, the building aspect of Fallout 4 was one of my favorite parts about it. And there is, and so I've got another couple of games. Like I also have the Conan game on my computer, and you can get that for the PlayStation as well. It's Conan Exiles. And it's a great game. It's a lot of fun. And it's beautiful, and you can build all kinds of crazy shit, man. And you start off with like stone and sandstone, and then you move up to bricks, and then you move up to log cabins, and I mean you kind of as you develop your character, you develop the ability to improve and upgrade your buildings and then with the add-ons that they've been adding, there's more aesthetic stuff and aesthetic choices and things that you can do, and it's pretty cool. And it's a pretty cool game in itself too. Besides that aspect. Anyways, so yeah, just drawing, playing video games, waiting for this to end so I can hopefully go back to work in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. So what are you drinking?
Tonight, one of my standbys, I'm drinking a triple jam. I don't know, I may be drinking a lot tonight. Just so anybody knows, just if anybody is curious, the Renaissance Festival is still at this time moving forward with our development and preparing for the season. They are working towards putting together online auditions and online rehearsals and things like that until we're able to gather for rehearsals and stuff like that. I'm not a traditional part of the cast as I'm being the makeup artist, but so I don't really go to the rehearsals a lot. But it depends. I mean, if I decide to go on as Oliver the Ogre, so we'll see. How that happens and everything. But for anybody that may be listening, any of the fans of the show that are Ren Fair fans, as of now, we are still moving forward to open up the Ren Fair in mid-August.
That's cool.
So,
now, see, I actually did hear I saw a thing on Facebook. It was a meme that was explaining COVID in Renaissance Festival terms.
Yeah,
so,
with the fair.
Yeah, so say you have a you put on a Renaissance Festival, and 10,000 people show up. Of those 10,000 people, 10 of them are dressed as fairies. At the end of the day, how many people have glitter on them?
Glitter on them, right? Yeah, I gotta admit that's actually a fairly accurate kind of thing. The problem is that post, actually, a friend of mine, a fairly new friend, she's actually the fiance of a very good old friend of mine. And I met her at festival this past year. Chris is a traveling Rennie. He goes out on the road, and his fiance is also a traveling Rennie, and she plays a fairy character.
Mm-hmm.
And she's among other things, she goes to festival. She's an independent single character, and she plays this fairy with these huge wings and beautiful. And it really, that post, for as much as it was meant to be kind of educational and kind of, hey, understand.
Well, it's also humorous.
Things are happening and humorous. Really hit home for her. She made a big long post about it yesterday, and I couldn't help but feel it as well, because she is one of those people that touches people and gets in close and entertains people up close and personal and does character stuff, and at the moment she can't. Her passion and her job, and I mean, it's non-existent right now.
Well, it's not. See, I didn't take that as anything to do with touching or anything. It's because of just the glitter that gets sprinkled around.
Of course, but it's just like I said, the whole idea of it kind of like hit her in the feels, because that's what she does. She does put glitter on people, consensually, but and she does, it's just. And like I said, I could definitely understand where she was going with that. I can feel it, because it's hard. And I mean, I'm seeing, that's one of the other things that's kind of messing with my head, is the fact that I'm seeing a ton of my friends right now dealing with the fact that their livelihood is in jeopardy. And not just Rennies. I mean, all kinds of friends that are entertainers, musicians, and people that made a living, good, bad, medium, whatever, but still made a living through entertaining and through, performing for people, and they can't. Mm-hmm. And although I don't so much entertain, I do. I mean, sometimes I do. I feel it as well. I'm feeling this as well as a working artist. So it's just kind of like, now I'm thinking about, okay, now maybe I need to get back into pushing my drawings and my art and concept drawings and shooting it out there. Hey guys, anybody need any artwork done? I don't know. Of course, my work habits need to improve. But,
yeah.
So it's just, I don't know. I'm just feeling it today. Anyway, what are you drinking?
I am drinking. This is something I have reviewed before, but this is this year's batch, so I figured I'd do it again. It's been about a year, I think. But yeah, it's psychedelic catgrass from Shorts. It's
Oh, okay, I remember that one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an IPA. Triple dry hopped American India Pale Ale. This actually Shorts doesn't put on there what their ABV is. I don't think it's all that high. It might be like 6. I'll look it up later. But yeah, it is a very, very aromatic IPA. Okay. It's very citrusy. Very, very citrusy on the nose. And then when you take a drink, I'm going to take another sip here. It is one of those really strong, kind of dank IPAs. I really like it. It is very hoppy, and it's got a nice blend of bitter with the citrus hops.
Okay, when you say dank, what do you mean by that?
Strong.
What is
describe? Okay. It's a strong hoppy flavor. It's kind of that it's that bitterness. It's hard. Okay. It's hard for me to describe it.
Well, that's why I'm asking you to.
It has that.
It does sound.
Yeah, basically, a lot of times dank has a little bit of a grassy taste to it too. It is kind of like the way that strong weed smells. Is that flavor? So.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, it's a golden color. Other than that, the glass is kind of got some condensation on it because it's actually kind of a warm day. But it is a golden color. It's pretty clear. I really like it. This is one that when I saw that it came out, and I'm like, I got to get a 6-pack of that. I'd say I'd give this probably 4 1/4 bottle caps. It is one of my it is actually cool, one of my favorite things by Shorts. I like it a lot.
Okay.
So yeah, if you can find it, Psychedelic Catgrass. It is it's kind of a wild label, but yeah, it's I think they put it out once a year. So.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just doing Triple Jam again. I mean, like I didn't get out to the store to get anything new, and I've got a bunch of beer in the fridge or a bunch of ciders.
Trying to get through.
So, kind of. I bought like 3 6-packs when I went to the store, and after, just kind of like you said, $80 at the liquor store between like some 6-packs and then some liquor and some other some stuff for Stella. But yeah, so I'm just gonna get through it and then get something. Maybe see if I can find something new. Apparently that dude from what is it, Black Dragon Meadery was on Facebook again, embarrassing himself. A friend of mine posted he made some sort of post on his Facebook page, something like negging the Me Too movement or something. And it's just like, Jesus Christ, man, you really want to just wreck your business? Because that's what you're doing. That's exactly what you're doing, man.
Yeah, that's I really have no interest in purchasing their stuff at this point.
Not anymore, because I actually had some of their meads, and they were all right. And I was like, yeah, this is pretty decent. And now, I mean, that guy's completely turned me off on anything from them now, just because of his sheer attitude. It's amazing how much a company, like the attitude or the personality of a company's, the leader of a company can affect their bottom line if they do stuff like that. Although you'd think that Donald Trump would be a puppet.
Yeah.
If that was the case. But yeah, I mean, it really does greatly affect the way people look and or want to buy their product. If you are a douchebag and you're trying to sell a product and everybody knows you're a douchebag, you may not sell that product.
So.
And I feel bad for the rest of the company because, I mean, I can imagine the rest of the company is, I mean, not everybody is as a douchebag in that company, just the loudest one,
So we got some good news this week. We got the release date for Umbrella Academy Season 2.
Yeah, and it came
that video was awesome.
It was obvious, right? It was obviously a quarantine made video where they're all dancing to what is it? The Tiffany classic. God, well, I can't remember the name of the song, but it's featured in the show where they're all dancing or they're listening. It's playing through the whole house and they're all dancing to it and stuff.
Yeah, it's
so,
the
yes, what is the release date?
Yeah, it's the Children Behave.
July.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, it's July 31st.
Holding on to other people's hands, try to get away into the night, and then I
think we're alone now.
It's the crap.
Yeah.
I think we're
you
alone
stopped
now.
just before the.
Yeah. Isn't that a? It's actually a Beatles tune. Yes, it was. She covered it. It was a Beatles tune. Yeah. Thank you. I think that's. I think that's Ed, who is just chimed in. Yeah. Thanks, Ed. Welcome back to the show. July something, if I remember correctly.
July 31st.
Let me see. I've got it here. July 31st.
So end of July, which I'm looking forward to it. I thought the first season was fantastic.
Oh yeah. I've fallen behind in a lot of the shows that I like to watch, because I've just been trying to stick to like the Arrowverse for the most part and kind of get caught up on the Arrowverse. Sometimes if I don't really feel like watching the Arrowverse, I do have a couple other things that I might sit down, just kind of put on. Like I've been, binging SVU, Law and Order SVU.
Yeah, but dude, you can only do so much of that before it really starts impacting your psyche.
If we're gonna blow your brains out, I know it's. I'll watch a few episodes of that, maybe while I'm gaming or something, and then I'm trying to watch that. So I have fallen behind. I haven't seen the latest season of Stranger Things. I haven't seen the latest season of a couple other things, but I think I will set aside some time to make sure I catch the second season of this right away because it was fucking great.
You haven't watched the latest season of Stranger Things? Dude, get off your ass.
I know.
It's only been almost a year.
Oddly enough, I know. And, the funny thing is I just I was scrolling through Amazon Prime the other day. And, I came across a show that's on HBO called The Deuce.
Yeah.
And I'd watched the first season, and it was really good. It's actually just kind of brilliant.
Yeah, I hadn't watched it.
And it takes place. It takes place over a period of about 20 years, give or take. And starts off in about the mid to late 60s, probably more closer to the late 60s, in New York City, in Manhattan. And it basically shows the development of the vice industry. Between prostitution and the clubs and the bars and how it developed and then how it led into the pornography industry. And it's got James Franco in it. He plays a set of identical twins. And Maggie Gyllenhaal, she plays a prostitute that goes on to become a pornographer, one of the first female director. And she starts off, then that's what the first porno movies were. It was like basically hiring prostitutes to perform and to be in the movies and stuff. And then those same prostitutes ended up going, hey, I can make money doing this instead. And then that changed fairly quickly into, other women that didn't start out as prostitutes getting into it. But so the first season I had watched when it first came out, I was like, wow, this is really cool. And then the second and third seasons had come out, and I was like, I'll catch it. And I just kind of was like, you know what, I'm just going to over the weekend, I just binged the second and third seasons. And it was really solid.
Yeah.
It's done now. So if you guys want to see a cool show, the first season was in the late 60s. The second season was obviously into the 70s. The mid to mid, about 10 years. So there looks like maybe an 8 to 10 year leap. And then the third season is roughly the first season starts off December of 1984. So it goes into 1985. And so you see basically the development of these characters over about, it's kind of a little vague at the beginning, but it's 15 to 20 years.
And then at the very end, you see an aged James Franco is one of the characters he plays in 2019. And it's just like the last 10 minutes. And it was just honestly really, really cool. And I thought it was going to be, just this kind of cheesy show about the porn industry, but it really turned into a great character piece about these people's struggles and, the highs and lows and, of the eras, and dealing with the mob and dealing with the cops. And particularly in the third season, somewhat in the second season too, but the third season where they were really trying hard to clean up New York City and clean up that whole, I don't know if you remember when we were kids, that push for Times Square, to clean up Times Square and make it more touristy and more friendly to tourists and stuff. So they got all of the sex industry out of Times Square. And then they also, in particular in the third season, dealing with the AIDS crisis in New York. And because that was one of the first places it hit, and one of the first places it was very visible, So it was really good. James Franco should be really, really, I think he was a co-producer on the show, as was Maggie Gyllenhaal, and they should both be very proud of what they did, because it was a hell of a show. And I know it's not the most nerdiest, not really super nerdy, but a really, really solid show. One of those shows that HBO should be proud of, because it was solid. It was really powerful. So guys, check out The Deuce.
So hi to Megas Tailpine. It's in the chat.
Say what?
So someone says greetings to.
Hi, send greetings to Megas Tailpin.
Yeah.
Okay,
welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks for coming by.
Hey, yeah. Come Paloma 2000 is their screen name. So, okay. Hi, Megas. Well, nice. Welcome to the show. Tell all your friends about us. We could use some more comments. So what else? Yes. Netflix's The Umbrella Academy Season 2, July 31st, guys. You definitely, you got plenty of time until then to watch the first season if you haven't already. It is a fantastic show based on a pretty great comic book by Gerald Way. Yep. So
yeah, it was good. It was actually even better than I thought it was going to be. So
yeah.
Speaking of season 2s though, we got more Mandalorian news this week too. Yeah, that Timothy Olyphant is joining the cast. And I'm guessing that these are all going to be people that, when they say that, he's joining the cast, I'm guessing that what it is it's going to be like last season. It's going to be people that he meets in like one episode, and then then they may come back in a second episode when he needs something from them, type of thing.
Yeah, I'm guessing that probably there'll be characters that they introduce that we may see and we may not see again.
Oh yeah,
hey man, that's fine with me. I mean, this show is turning into kind of like the Muppets of the new generation. I mean, when we were kids, remember, there was everybody just loved being on the Muppets.
Yep.
Hosting the Muppets. It was kind of like an honor if you got to host the Muppets, and in the 70s and 80s. And it looks like this show is going to be kind of similar. It's like, hey, I get to be a character on The Mandalorian. Fuck yeah!
And
so, I mean, look at Bill Burr, for fuck's sake.
And no, Mandalorian is not. Well, it's not Boba Fett. Boba Fett wasn't a Mandalorian. He wore Mandalorian armor. Correct.
Yes. So that might be one of those things where, I mean, they've said that Timothy Olyphant will be wearing Boba's armor, but will not.
Well, no, because they got what's his name to do Boba Fett. I haven't seen anything about him being a Mandalorian.
Correct, but I did see. I actually had something here. Yeah, Timothy Olyphant, who's recently reported as joining the cast of The Mandalorian, was spotted on set filming scenes wearing Boba Fett's iconic armor, according to /film. But he's probably not playing Boba Fett. Actor Tamura Morrison, who portrayed Boba Fett's father/progenitor Jango Fett in Star Wars Attack of the Clones, and who voiced Boba Fett in the most recent remastered edition of the original Star Wars trilogy, has reportedly signed on to reprise the role of Fett in live action through, though as /film reports, it's Olyphant who may be wearing his Mandalorian armor. So who might Oliphant be playing? Chuck Wendig's aftermath Star Wars novel set in a time period contemporary to The Mandalorian features a character named Cobb Vanth, a sheriff in the wilds of Tatooine who purchased Fett's armor from scrappers who retrieved it from the wreckage of Jabba's sail barge following Fett's apparent death in the Sarlacc pit in the opening of Return of the Jedi. So Slash Film speculates Oliphant will be playing Vanth, certainly an appropriate choice given Oliphant's long-time roles as a lawman on Justified and Deadwood, but official details of many actors' roles for The Mandalorian Season 2 expected to premiere this fall on Disney Plus remain secret. But apparently he is seen wearing the armor.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the thing a lot of people don't know. Boba Fett was not a Mandalorian. He just wore Mandalorian armor.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't know that until, I don't know, I read it somewhere.
Oh, looks like we locked up a little bit on the stream.
No. Okay. Oh, yeah. I don't know, maybe.
At least it locked up for me, but
going,
but yeah, so I loved Timothy Olyphant in Justified. I thought that was absolutely fantastic, and he made that show. It was so good. He is actually I think a really good actor.
I caught I caught Justified here and there, and every time I watched the show, I got a kick out of it. I enjoyed it. Walton Goggins was really good on that show too, as one of the kind of the bad guys. It's on my Hulu watch list because pretty much all of FX is on Hulu now, and so I'm planning on watching Justified. As soon as I get done with some of these other shows that I've been watching. Hey man, I'm down. I think Timothy Olyphant's a hell of an actor.
Mm-hmm.
He's on that show, Santa Clarita Diet too, with
Drew Barrymore.
Drew Barrymore, and he's really funny on that too. So yeah, so it kind of shows his range. He can play serious and dangerous and scary, and tough guy and whatever, but he can also do kind of comedy shit too. So I'm in. Good. Looks like we got another newer person here. Somebody named Sneak Coot.
No, that's not new.
Hey man.
He's been on. He's
that?
Yes.
Oh, is it?
That's Michael.
Right on. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Hey man, how's it going? Nice to see you. Welcome back.
Ghost of Frost is new.
Yeah, Ghost of Frost. So hey, what's up? Welcome to the show. Yeah, cool. Getting more and more people. Yep. That's great. What's next?
Well, the other thing I just saw this today. I haven't had a chance to watch it, but I saw that the Guild got back together to do a D&D game.
Yeah, I saw something about that. I haven't watched it, but I thought I'd probably try and check that out. I loved the Guild. It was such a great thing. It was kind of, I guess.
Oh, you're breaking up.
Like internet show.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. We're just having some issues here, but it was the first real internet show, and it was just really smart the way they did it, the way they put everything together, and
I think
computer, webcams.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna have to check that out for sure.
Yeah. I just saw it today. I kind of flashed through it real quick, and they played "Do You Want to Date My Avatar" in like the breaks, over like kind of low for the most part as they're showing like scenes. I'm guessing from one of the latest seasons of the Guild. I don't think I realized that actually had like 6 seasons. I think.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Though each episode was maybe 5 minutes. At an episode that was around 10 minutes long, so you could binge the entire series in a day.
Yeah.
And but yeah, they ran like 6 seasons. It's pretty cool. And I got to admit though too, their seasons got more elaborate. They took it to cons. They got jobs. Whatever. There's some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, so like I said, I haven't watched that yet. It was just something I saw out there on YouTube. So.
Right on. Something I saw the other day or yesterday
They did, you know how they're doing like the Chuck table read that I posted in the show or on their page.
Mm-hmm.
There was a community table read. They got the whole cast, or pretty much, well, short of Chevy Chase because I'm sure he wouldn't do it.
Yep.
Back to do a line read from season 5. From it was the episode right after Chevy Chase's character died. So it was really, really fucking cool, man. Just a blast, a lot of fun. You could tell that these were people that had a lot of fun doing the show and were good friends. And I don't know, it just it's one of those things that I do like about the quarantine. Is people getting creative with how they're entertaining people. You know.
Yeah.
So that's been pretty cool.
Yeah, Ghost Frost. The Guild was one of the first internet shows.
Yes, you're right. One of, but it was one of the first ones to kind of get like acclaim, like get attention beyond just like internet community. Like the Guild, people started paying attention,
and it was live action too, versus like Red and Blue, Red versus Blue, which wasn't.
Correct. Yeah, it was all created in what was it in
Halo,
or in the Halo?
Yeah, Halo.
Yeah. Some pretty cool stuff too. That was some really funny shit.
So the other thing that I posted this week, that holy fucking shit, the new Unreal Engine.
Holy crap,
dude!
That was it was the PlayStation 5
demo.
Yeah,
well, it was the Unreal Engine, the new Unreal Engine on the PlayStation 5, and
showing the PlayStation 5's capabilities.
Yeah. And just their new engine's capabilities. That's going to change gaming, man. That is...
Oh, man. It was gorgeous. I don't even know what that game
I don't care.
I don't mean either. I mean, it was incredible. It was beautiful. I'm super excited for the PS5.
Yeah. But I love seeing all the stuff now that they're like, there's a shortage of triangles now, thanks to the Unreal.
Yeah, having all of the polygons created by triangles and everything, and
they said that they can now get triangles down to almost the pixel size.
Wow!
And that's why that game looks so really cool. Incredible. And then just the way that they could move the light around, like when they showed that part of the demo, like, oh, you want the light over here? Oh, nope, you know what? The sun's setting. I'm like, holy shit! Like that.
Yeah. It's really just incredible. I mean, I sat and I watched the whole goddamn thing, and I mean, I don't know what the next Xbox capabilities are going to be like. I'm sure it's going to be comparable, but man, games on this system are going to be amazing. Yeah. Going to be next level.
Yeah, you know? I'm looking forward to it. And then they also came out with a price point for the PS5. It looked like too.
Oh yeah,
the one, I think it was a 1.5 terabytes or something like that, or 1.6 terabyte one was going to be $650.
Yeah, that sounds about right. It's still a little high.
That's what I thought.
I think they wanted to keep them. They wanted to keep it between 4 and 5, and it's $650. That's going to be a price point that's going to scare people at first. Now there is the advantage of like things like the peripherals, like the PSVR, and the fact that all the PS4 games will be playable on the PlayStation 5. That is a big selling point. So that you can buy the PS5 because you can only play, or hopefully they'll box it with a game. But still, you can still go on and continue to play your games to the beloved.
Yeah, looks like I am having internet connection issues tonight.
Okay, well, I'm not having any real problem here. It looks
that's like I'm watching the meter go to red a lot of times on here, and I'm not sure why. Okay. It's the first time we've had issues.
Yeah. I don't know what to tell you. That's all you, brother. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
It's residential internet. I can't afford business internet.
Right, for sure. Our friend Sneak Coot says he's looking forward to more forward to the Breath of the Wild sequel than the new consoles, and then also
He said there haven't been any official prices yet. So
yeah, that was just a rumor, I think, is what they were posting in that article.
If they say, who knows? PlayStation may choose to take a loss on the consoles just to get them out there because they do make more money on the games and peripherals. So we'll see. That's what they did with the PS3 initially. The first two kinds of the first two models of PS3, I think at least two they took like a $50 loss per console.
They're gonna drop the price of the console down to $500 to make it affordable for people, but it doesn't come with a controller, so you have to buy that.
Yeah, or you got to use your old PS4 controller until you can afford to get the new PS5 one.
Yeah, but yeah, that just looked incredible. If you guys haven't seen it, go check out our Facebook page. It's on there. It is an impressive video.
Yeah, it really is. Really pretty cool. Let's see. Yeah, that's too much for this year in particular, for sure. I mean, with people, that's the other thing. With people, being out of work and everything, or, having to save their money, they may hold off on buying a new video game console if their older one still works fine. A lot of people may hold off on buying the new console. I know I'm going to hold off. I'm not going to buy a first run. I'll probably wait until like this time next year before I get a PS5 because for me it depends. Well, I think they got to work the bugs out. Now, granted, the new PS5 is not like, say, the PS3. The jumping from the PS2 to the PS3 was a big technological jump. So they went from Blu-ray or from DVDs to Blu-ray. They went from hard drive spaces jumped dramatically. Like my first PlayStation 3 was a 20 gig PlayStation. So now I've got my PS4 is a 500 gig, things like that. So it's just there was a big jump in technology. So there was a lot of learning curve that they had to do. There was less so with the PS4. The PS4, we had, they went from the pretty much the one configuration that we have, and then they created the PS4 Pro, and that's about it. There hasn't been massive changes to the design. So, and then that's the other thing too. The PS3 went through at least like 5 iterations because there was the different sizes of the hard drives, and then they did the slim, and all these different things. So. Who knows? If I've got the extra money, then maybe I'll get it. But I'll probably wait at least a little while. But yeah, you got something else? I got a couple things.
Go for it.
All right. So today, just recently, it was revealed that, like earlier today, within a couple hours ago, that Ruby Rose, the woman who has been playing Batwoman for the entire first season of Batwoman, is going to be leaving the show. She's exiting leaving Batwoman. And they are going to recast because it has been renewed for a second season. And they've announced they will be recasting the role. Now, this is the first time that they have recast a major character on any of the Arrowverse shows. In fact,
the main character.
Correct. I remember correctly. They've never recast any of the characters.
Not that I can think of.
Leaves, or an actor leaves, or dies, or whatever. I mean, pretty much everybody has signed on and stayed on these shows until such time, that they decide to write the character off or kill the character off or whatever. I mean, hell, even they've killed off characters and then still brought that same actor back to play another version of the same character from another Earth, from a parallel Earth. So, apparently she's not going to do the show next season. Now, apparently they said it has nothing to do with the injury that she sustained, where she almost got paralyzed. Yeah. She got her neck hurt, her spine was hurt. So it has nothing to do with that. But the showrunners and Ruby Rose's people have not stated exactly why she's not coming back. She was very positive, very. Basically, she says, just to quote it, she has her statement, "I have made the very difficult decision to not return to Batwoman next season. reads Rose's statement. This was not a decision I made lightly, as I have the utmost respect for the cast, crew, and everyone involved with the show in both Vancouver and in LA. I am beyond appreciative to Greg Berlanti, Sarah Schechter, and Caroline Dries for not only giving me this incredible opportunity, but for welcoming me into the DC universe they have so beautifully created. Thank you, Peter Roth and Mike Pedovitz, and the teams at Warner Brothers and the CW who put so much into the show and always believed in me. Thank you, everyone who made the season 1 a success. I'm truly grateful. Now, that was the thing. People said good things about her portrayal. She was also the first, homosexual, female character lead on a superhero show. So, I mean, it was a big deal.
I haven't watched any of this. I haven't seen any of it because I don't have cable and they don't stream, so...
Right. I haven't seen it yet myself. I'm planning on it as I get into the shows and stuff and get into that part of the show. I'm sure it's going to be streaming on Netflix, as all of the CW shows do eventually. And I did look up that the season 1 Blu-rays will be out in August. Okay. And I'm planning on getting that because I buy all the CW DVD sets. It's just kind of a bummer. I thought, even though I haven't seen the show, I heard good things about her performance. I thought she looked the part, and I kind of like Ruby Rose. I've liked everything I've seen her in and stuff. And so I was just really kind of bummed out, But it is a kind of a big deal. Like, holy crap, And that was the other thing too that they had mentioned as a follow-up. Now they did release a start date for the Superman and Lois show that is going to be premiering from the characters that were introduced, the version of Superman that was introduced to Supergirl, Tyler Hoechlin, and Elizabeth Tulloch, who plays Lois Lane. The two of them will be. Their show starts in January of 21. They've also had stated that the crossover, the seasonal crossover that they have within the Arrowverse, is going to be smaller, and it's probably only going to be like a 2-night event as opposed to like 5 nights. Was going to cross over from Superman and Lois and also into Batwoman.
Yep.
So obviously they will be having to recast Batwoman. And now they did say that you'll probably also see other characters from the other shows on it, but it'll most probably just be those 2 shows.
Now, one of the other things I heard about Batwoman, the season finale, I guess you get to see Bruce Wayne / Batman, sort of.
Correct. Apparently, what it was is not to break up a spoiler, but break out with the spoilers. But apparently, it is the character of Hush.
Yes.
Who was Bruce's boyhood friend Tommy, and Tommy something. I'm blanking on his last name right now, but he basically gets his face reconstructed or gets some sort of mask or something that makes him look like Bruce Wayne. So it essentially establishes what Bruce Wayne looks like in the Arrowverse. And the interesting thing is this character, this actor, actually played a character in the first season on Arrow, basically a family friend of Oliver Queen, who is this like big deal doctor. And I don't know if they ever ended up like using him again. I don't think they did, but it was interesting. Like some of the people I saw, continuity buffs were basically like, hey, wait a minute here, this causes a problem.
Yeah,
it's just a matter of the actor being asked.
And they were saying that a lot of people were hoping that this would be because of the way that it's set up and how they really haven't done anything with the Bat.
Right.
That they were hoping it would be more of the older Batman, kind of retired Batman type thing, more like Conley's Batman from the crossover. And
correct, yeah.
That now they're going back with the young Batman idea, and people aren't real happy. A lot of people I saw weren't real happy about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. Like I didn't see it so far. I mean, I am planning on watching it, but I don't know. We'll see. It says a little bit more. Here we go. The show stars Tyler Hoechlin and Elizabeth Tulloch as the titular Superman and Clark Kent and Lois Lane as they raise their sons in Metropolis. With the announcement of Superman and Lois' planned premiere comes good news and bad news. The bad news, per Variety, that CW has delayed the premiere of all of its new scripted programming from fall 2020 to January 2021,
which is when CW's and other DC shows Batwoman, Flash, and Black Lightning will also return. Supergirl and DC Legends of Tomorrow won't return until mid-season. So this is the time to get caught up on the CW shows. If anything,
I'm trying.
You can also you'll be able to watch Swamp Thing on the CW. Also, the Stargirl show has since premiered. I haven't watched it yet.
I haven't either.
But I'm looking forward to it. I think it looks like it's going to be pretty cool. Joel McHale in the first episode as Starman, who ends up, I believe ends up passing away. I think I don't know. It's Jeff Johns' baby, and I think I've always loved his writing, and I'm looking forward to watching it. Everything I've seen so far looks kind of cool.
We got S.H.I.E.L.D. coming up too, real soon.
We got S.H.I.E.L.D. They're going to be doing another time travel thing. I am way behind in S.H.I.E.L.D. I kind of backed away around season 5, but I do buy the DVD set, so I'm planning on getting caught up with that as well.
You got a little bit of TV to watch.
If it's a superhero or comic book based television show, I'll probably get around to it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I'm trying to get through DC Legends of Tomorrow. And,
right, I'm working on that right
I'm having trouble.
Season
I'm on season 1, and I'm just having trouble getting through it.
Season 1's a little rough. You got to get through it though. Season 2 gets a lot better, and it picks up at the end of the season 1. It gets a lot better, and but like I said, season 2 is substantially better, and then season 3 they start adding in. I mean, they keep swapping in and out characters, and so you get. In season 2, you get the Earth X crossover, which is pretty cool. You also get, I think, in season 1, you also get the Dominator crossover, with the alien invasion, and then of course in season 4 here we get the Crisis on Infinite Earth. So, some really really cool stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I like that the main villain is Vandal Savage, which I thought was kind of cool. I'm like that one surprised me a little. I'm like, I didn't expect to see him as the villain, but I like the idea.
Well, one of the things I liked about the show too is that it cherry picks a bunch of characters from the other shows and puts them together. So characters that may not have gotten their full due on the shows that they premiered on, they get more screen time and more cool stuff happens to them in in Legends of Tomorrow, like the Atom. He ends up being really great. Captain Cold. He's actually fantastic. I really liked.
I like
that actor. He does a great job. Both he and the guy who plays Heatwave, the two of them together, they were some of my favorite villains on The Flash, and they get a lot more shit to do, and become much more integral in that episode or in season 1. And then and the cool thing is you get introduced to. When they encounter Earth 3, the world where everything's reversed, and where it's actually Earth X, where the Nazis took over, and essentially it's the reversed world where everything good is evil, everything evil is good, for the most part. There's some things. They meet a good guy, Leonard Snart, Leo Snart, and he's gay, and it's just and you're like, whoa, and it's just and he's this really, really nice guy, and it's fucking funny. And then, and Constantine joins the cast in season 3. So if anything, that's worth getting around to, because Constantine, the guy that played it on the show, and then also played him when they had him on Arrow, he joins the cast. And from what I understand in season 3, because I'm just getting to that now, in season 3 and season 4, he's like a breakout, amazing character and part of the show, and so it's really pretty cool. Speaking of Constantine, there's an interesting kind of note. They just released on the DC streaming app, just 2 weeks ago, I think it was, and it came out today on Blu-ray, was the Justice League Dark animated movie Apocalypse War. Now that's supposed to be, from what I understand, the final movie in the DC animated movie continuity. Now that continuity stemmed very much from the New 52, and the whole New 52 kind of versions of the characters. So from what I understand, the they're going to be moving away from that storyline, maybe getting into other storylines or whatever. So this is the end of that particular storyline. And John Constantine is a major character. And it's funny because they even show now, they established in both the comic books and on Legends of Tomorrow that John Constantine is bi. And on the show, or in the cartoon, there's a point where he points to his like, oh, that's my ex over there, and it's Harley Quinn standing next to King Shark, and somebody looks at him and says, "You dated Harley Quinn?" And he goes, "No, what are you, crazy? What? I'm not crazy." Whatever. He says something to the effect, and then King Shark like looks over at him and winks and walks away or something. You're like, whoa, okay, John. So. Some interesting stuff there too. I haven't bought it or watched it yet. I'm actually going to probably order it on Amazon and have it sent to me, because I buy them all on Blu-ray. They're really great, guys. If you get the opportunity or you want to get, the DC animated cinematic stuff has really been awesome. There hasn't been a bad movie in the bunch. Every single one of them, even the ones that was like criticized, like probably the biggest one that was criticized was The Killing Joke because of the additional stuff that they put in and the relationship between Batman and Batgirl. Even that was still good. It was still really a cool film overall. So check those out, guys.
Okay, that's interesting. The latest in the chat.
Hello, Batman took my virginity. Can you talk to him and convince him to give it back? Well, that's kind of what happened with him and Barbara, from what I know on that show. In that thing.
Yeah.
Spartacus was one of the few to recast. Granted, they had two because the original main actor passed away. That's right, and it was Spartacus went on to becoming still continuing to be a really great show. That was a great show. Unless you're Doctor Who, that is. Yeah. Recast equals death is usually, especially the main.
Yeah.
I think that if they find the right actress to play Batwoman, then I think it could still be really great. From what I understand, they are looking for another LGBTQ actress to play her too, so they want to stay with that. So, yeah. I'm glad. I'm really, really glad that people are jumping into the stream chat and talking to us. It's really great.
Yeah, please.
That's really great. Thanks for joining.
Thanks for joining. And if you can, please give us a follow. We could really appreciate it. We could really use the followers. So
yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, so you got anything else?
Ooh, yikes. So anyway, yeah, Superman and Lois, Batwoman.
Okay.
Yeah, that one hurt me a little bit. All right, so they're working on a prequel to Mad Max Fury Road. That will be basically the origin story of Furiosa. Now they revealed though they will be recasting for a younger character, because now there was originally talk that they would that Charlize Theron would reprise the role as Furiosa, but they would use digital effect to make her younger, like they've done in they've been doing it in some of the Marvel movies. Like what they also did apparently, and I didn't know this, Martin Scorsese's The Irishman, which is that show on Netflix that got all that huge attention. They used de-aging technology on Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, and Joe Pesci, so that all of them could play the same characters throughout many, many years. But apparently, the director George Miller still feels that there's still too much of an uncanny valley, and that there's still work to be done to make it to make him happy. So they will be looking for another actress to play a younger Furiosa, particularly because I guess it is going to be quite a bit of time before the movie of Mad Max. Also, guys, we are looking at a big kind of an issue with the Wonder Woman movie. Apparently, there is talk that possibly, if theaters don't reopen in enough time, or enough theaters reopen by August 14th, that they could be pushing the movie back to December. Wonder Woman 1984 could reportedly be pushed back as far as December.
Which, that would suck, but I understand it.
Yeah, well, it's another thing that we're all dealing with this whole situation. So I don't know. We'll see. There was just something else that I saw today. Also, something we posted about, I think, on the show, on the Facebook page, but we didn't talk about. The new Star Trek show has been given a title. The new Spike and Pike. Spike and Pike? The new Spock and Pike. I read it too,
Pike,
and apparently
Pock and Spike.
Dyslexia.
Pock and Spike.
Apparently, Pock and Spike. Apparently, dyslexia is something you can catch. I don't know. It's like, okay. Spock and Pike lead Star Trek Strange New Worlds on CBS All Access. The show is going to be called Strange New Worlds. It takes place about 10 years before, give or take, about 10 years before Kirk ends up taking command of the Enterprise. Anson Mount and Ethan Peck will reprise their roles as Pike and Spock from Star Trek Discovery, respectively. Yeah, me too. And they will be joined by Rebecca Romaine, reprising her guest role from Discovery as Number One. So that's pretty great. I'm super excited, super duper excited. I think honestly, Anson Mount was one of the best things, and Captain Pike was one of the best things to come out of Discovery so far. And I've really liked Discovery. I really enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. And I think it's been a really great show.
Yeah, Anson Mount was.
But seeing them, he was great. And seeing them in this new one, I'm excited as hell. No premiere date has been announced, from what I understand. They haven't even started filming yet. So we're ways away from that. But, let's see. Okay. One last kind of thing. Apparently, DC Comics is going to be ending a few comic books, and they're going to be ending it on. They're going to be ending them. The last 3 issues, the several issues of their comics, are going to be ending digitally. They're not going to be printing the last couple of issues. Terrifics and Supergirl are the couple of the ones that are going to be ending, which is kind of a shame that they are not printing them. They're just going to be putting them out via digital download. Now, they're saying that it is telling for the future of the comic book industry. Now, we are seeing comic books are being distributed now. DC, like I had said before, DC Comics are going to be sending out their books on Tuesdays. Marvel and the rest of the industry are going to be sending out their books on Wednesdays. Comic shops are starting to get deliveries. And Marvel is still not going to be releasing comics until, I believe, the final week of May here, whereas DC has started shipping 2 weeks ago. I don't know. We're looking at some really big, weird things. Hopefully, we'll see a stabilization of the comic industry pretty soon. But they're saying that this could potentially be the beginning of a big change in the industry. Like certain books may only be on digital, release, and that's kind of sucks. For me, anyway, as a fan. I don't know. Other than that, there was also a release date for Season 2 of the Doom Patrol, June 25th. So for those of you guys who haven't checked out Doom Patrol, the first season, you can see that streaming on the DC streaming app. It will also be on HBO Max, as will Season 2. We've got a couple weeks, I think about another week and a half, until the HBO Max streaming app opens, and I don't know, it's looking pretty huge. Huge. They're just people are really, really excited. A lot of things that I'm seeing coming up, it looks like it's going to be really cool.
Yeah, it could be. And hello to DKK37. Just said hi to us in the chat.
Hey, hello. How you doing?
No, I was just going to say, unless you had something else you wanted to get into, I was thinking we could do something that we haven't done in a long time. Schoolyard Pick'em.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. It's been a long time since we did that.
But
sure,
we've been seeing all these like the 10 days of X challenge going on Facebook, and the one that you nominated me for just recently was the movies, and that was actually kind of the one I was thinking about doing. But here's some of the rules. Okay. So it's Schoolyard Pick'em. So like before, if one of us picks a movie, the other one can't pick it. If you pick a movie in a series, you can't pick any other movie from that series. Okay, so if you pick one Star Wars movie, you can't pick any other Star Wars movie.
Can't pick any other Star Wars.
So
I'm totally cool with that. I there's a lot of times that because I have been doing the 10
movie,
me
too.
Thing. I just posted one a little bit ago. And a lot of the times the movie that I chose was a representative of the entire the entire franchise because otherwise I would be posting 5 Star Wars movies and all of the Lord of the Rings movies and things like that.
Right.
So yeah, okay. All right. So we can't choose one or the other. And but I will say, let's as a caveat, I can't choose one of your movies, but if you choose a Star Wars movie, I can still choose a Star Wars movie. I just can't choose.
And that was one of the things I was going to say. I was going to ask and see if you wanted to do it that way because I was okay with that. Picking a different movie in the same series, but you can't can't pick more than one movie in the series for each person.
In the series. Totally good. I'm down.
All right.
That's good.
Then how many do you want to do?
What's
how
that?
many? Yeah.
How many?
Want to do?
We got 15 minutes. I think we can do 10 each.
You think so? Because we're going to talk about them too.
I think so.
We're going to talk about them.
All right. Well, let's start with 6, and if we can go past 6, then.
All right. Well, it was my idea, so I'll let you go first.
Okay. I think I'm going to start with. We'll start with Superman from 1977.
Superman the movie.
The movie. Now, arguably, some people would say that Superman 2 is a superior film, but they were filmed together and then released within 18 months of each other. So there was a lot of drama about the director because Dick Donner directed the first one, and then he was supposed to direct the second one and did, but then got fired from the film, and then somebody else came in and directed the final release. Hence the fact that you can find the Donner cut on Blu-ray. So Superman, that's mine. That was it was basically the beginning of truly the superhero genre of films. I mean, some people would say, what about Batman from the 60s, and what about the... No, they invented special effects to make him look like he could fly. Mm-hmm. I mean, they did a lot of things, special things and different things with that, with the Superman movie. Plus, Chris Reeve was, for the longest time, and still for a lot of people, was the quintessential Superman.
I thought he was fantastic as Superman.
Oh, yeah, he was absolutely great. As both Clark Kent and as Superman, I think he did a great job. And I think there have been others that have done very well. I think Brandon Routh actually did a pretty good job. I think Henry Cavill did an amazing job. And I like the new guy.
Routh just had a shitty script.
He did. Brandon Routh had a really shitty script. And otherwise, I think he did all... The movie was not his...
No.
Tyler Hoechlin, the new Superman, did a good job. Dean Cain, he was a good Superman at the time. They've all brought something to the table. That was something that was good. But Superman, it's a very special movie for me. So Superman, 1977. Go.
All right. Well, I'm going to pick another Donner movie. Because and it's one that you picked on yours, and I'm trying not to on one of the ones that you've posted, and it's one of those I'm trying not to repeat the movies that I'm seeing you pick or that like Ed has picked or something like that. I know I can, right? But I'm trying not to because there's so many good movies out there. But I'm gonna go with The Goonies.
Okay, yeah.
One of my all-time favorite movies. Just watched it like a week ago, so
yeah,
it was.
We talked about the cast reunion that they had. That was really great.
Oh, hello RKO 389.
Hey, cool.
But yeah,
Welcome.
so now one of the things that I think that I loved, and I know we told this story before, but seeing that whole thing online about the Goonies and they're getting together for the what was it something apart, together apart or whatever that
Together
whatever
apart.
that is. But they when they were talking about the whole thing and Spielberg talking about what he did to Donner and how, because he was going crazy trying to wrangle all these kids and work with these kids, and he's like, I just want to go home to Hawaii and get the fuck away from all these kids. And so Spielberg, after they wrapped, bought every one of those kids a plane ticket to Hawaii and sent them to Donner's house and beat him there. So they were all waiting for him when he showed up at his house.
And they like wrecked it.
Oh yeah, well they said they threw stuff all over the place and on purpose. They were
clothes everywhere. Yeah. Oh, for sure. I think that's fucking hilarious. And they obviously had a blast. So that was the thing too. They obviously had a complete blast making that movie. They still talk about it. Obviously, they're all still friends.
Yep.
I mean, they probably don't all see each other all the time, but they're still friends. And it is, it is one of those perennial kind of like just awesome films that anybody in our generation just we're like, I want to be that person.
Yep.
Can really relate to a lot of those kids.
All right, back to you.
All right, let's go with. I'm going to go with Star Trek 4. I believe that's The Voyage Home.
That was actually on my list. That was going to be one of my next ones.
I'm going to put that one because I personally, I'm a huge Star Trek fan, and I've loved all the movies, even the bad ones, or even or the odd-numbered ones. They still, in my opinion, have some redeemable value because they're still Star Trek movies. But I'd have to say that's easily one of my favorites. It's one of the lightest ones. It's Star Trek Save the Whales. Yep. It's had some of the most comedy.
Computer.
Computer. Yeah.
Use the keyboard.
How quaint. Yeah, how quaint. Yeah, honestly, Scotty had some of the best lines. Scotty's always had some of the best lines in the movies. He really did. But that also includes like the new Star Trek movies. I thought that were really, really great, and the next gen movies. I mean, honestly, if I really want to say my favorite, I'd have to say First Contact. But I'd have to say that was my first one that I really, really loved a lot. Wrath of Khan, really. But I mean, 4 was.
See, that's the thing. I actually kind of
expected
you to go with Wrath of Khan, and I was going to take Voyage Home.
But it's just my mom. I just remember sitting and watching it with my mom. And my mom, although she was never a big fan of the shows, she always liked watching the Star Trek movies. So it was one of the things my mom and I would watch sometimes and whatnot. So yeah, Star Trek 4.
All right,
go ahead.
Well, I'm going to go to the superheroes now, and I'm going to say my favorite Batman movie of all time, Dark Knight. I think Bale was absolutely fantastic. As much crap as he got for the I'm Batman shit, I understood the reasoning why the character was doing that. I personally think that he, to this day, may be the best Batman I've seen. I truly loved that whole trilogy. Honestly, I thought every one of those movies was fantastic, and I think it's the best done Batman trilogy to date.
I think I'd have to agree for the most part. They were really great. They were serious. They were respectful of the source material. They were something that people could really kind of buy into because it was couched in reality as much as possible, as much as a superhero film can be. And yeah, they were great. Christian Bale, I think he did a great job doing what he did, being Batman. There were times when I had issues as being a big fan, a big comic book fan. There were times when I had nitpicky issues, but for the most part, loved him. In
that one, I mean, Heath Ledger, who I was very skeptical of as when it was announced that he was going to be the Joker.
Yeah, for sure.
That is by far, I think, one of the best portrayals and performances of the Joker that I've ever seen.
I would have to say for live action, yes. I mean, Mark Hamill is still my go-to for Jokers, but he was the best. I think he was probably my favorite live action Joker. I didn't hate. I gotta admit, I didn't hate. What's his name from Suicide Squad?
Jared Leto.
Jared Leto. I just like I said, when we've talked about before, it was the aesthetic that I didn't care for as much, but I thought his performance was solid. But Heath Ledger's was really probably the best I've seen.
I just wish he didn't look so greasy.
But the thing is, right, exactly. I think the greasy thing. Once again, we've talked about the aesthetics is the things that have bothered me a bit the most. I wish that we could have taken a little bit of all three of the last big deal Jokers, and a little bit of Jack, a little bit of Heath, a little bit of what's his name again? You just
Jared Leto.
Jared Leto. A little bit of Jared, and we could have aspects of all three of them and kind of mushed them together, and then could have made the composite Joker. Well, there are three Jokers. Because that's the thing, Jack Nicholson had the aesthetic down, like his clothing and everything, because he was fancy, man. He always looked good, but at the same time, and he played a really great Joker. The acting, it was great, but at the same time, the body, he didn't look physically like the Joker to me. The Joker is a tall, lean, kind of thin guy. Jack Nicholson not so much, although he killed it. And that leads me into my next one. I'm actually not going to go with Batman, the first Batman. I'm going to go with Batman Returns with Catwoman and the Penguin, with Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman, as Danny DeVito as the Penguin.
And see, that's one of my least favorites of that series.
See, I actually really enjoyed that one. I thought it was superior in many ways to the first one. It was like it was like Tim Burton took his the darkness level, and tweaked it to about another half turn. And I thought that was out of those four, that was my favorite. I really did enjoy the third one. I enjoyed, and the first one was great too. Of course, Batman and Robin. The only good thing about the fourth one was honestly Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze and Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy.
You thought that was redeeming? Uma Thurman maybe as Poison Ivy, but Schwarzenegger as Freeze was horrid.
He was awesome.
He was over the top cheesy.
And that's exactly what what we needed from him. I mean, honestly, he wasn't a great Freeze, but he was a great villain. He played that was one of the first times he'd ever played a villain, and it was really, really fucking. I thought it was great. But the thing is the Uma Thurman Ivy costume has become iconic. It's almost up there with the Catwoman costume. Now the funny thing is the movie was so bad itself. If you watch everything, the video. The videos on YouTube, everything wrong with, and they pick a movie and they pick out everything wrong with it. The one for Batman and Robin is actually, I believe, longer than the movie.
I was gonna say it would probably be shorter to say what's right in that movie.
Yeah, and then the other thing is too is I didn't hate George Clooney.
I didn't either.
I mean, I think he could have played a good Batman if he had gotten a good fucking script. If the movie itself had been good. I also feel like they completely fucked Bane in that movie. It was terrible.
Yeah, which is one of the things.
Using him as,
which is one of the things I liked about Dark Knight Rises is that they treated Bane well. Other than that, you couldn't understand him. They treated him well. I thought he was smart.
Strawberries are packed with fiber.
Bane on Harley Quinn is hilarious.
Oh man, he's so funny. I believe, speaking of Harley Quinn, I believe they actually finished off the season too. I haven't watched it yet, but
they've still got like 6 episodes to go. Yeah,
are they really? Oh, okay.
We're only like on episode 7, I think, so far, and they got 13 episodes. Yeah.
Really? Oh, okay, great.
So me.
That's up back to you, right?
Well, I'm going Star Wars now. I got to go with Empire Strikes Back. I think that is like the pinnacle of that series, of the entire 10 movies in that saga. Sure. Even throwing Solo in there, I think that is the top. Rogue One is close. Sure. It's a great spy movie, but I think overall for the Star Wars movies, I think Empire Strikes Back sets the bar, and that the only one to even come close is Rogue One. I don't think any of the others are even close.
Right. I would have to agree for the most part. That'll lead me into mine. I'm going to take Jedi because for me, Jedi, and it's one of the reasons why I posted that one on Facebook, is because for me, Jedi was, I saw Empire in the theater, but I was pretty young. Jedi, I was a little bit older, and it was the one that I really, really kind of resonated with. I'd seen them all, but Jedi was the one that I'm just like, and it was the end, and it was, of course, so beloved, and we loved it and everything. So yeah, for me, Jedi.
Nub, Ichak, yo.
No, Tommy, chicken, gonna knock fling. Oh, we had to learn that song in school.
Wow.
In like my music class when I was in elementary school, the school teacher, he got the lyrics and everything, and I still remember it to this day. Yub nub, e-chop, yub nub, Tommy, chicken, gonna not playing. Oh, I was like 8. We're speaking Ewok. It was crazy. So I'd have to say after Jedi, after Empire, I'd have to go with Rogue One as well. But I'm gonna go with Jedi for this. So.
All right. So for me, for my fourth one, there can be only one, and there was only one Highlander movie.
Yeah, Highlander. That was a classic, and man, it was such a good movie. And the funny thing is there was a lot of questions. The movie left you with a lot of questions. Where did they come from? Why were they immortal? Where did this power come from?
And it's too bad that they never explained that. Tried to explain that in any future films.
Now, I did talk about the fact that they did create a TV show. The TV show was actually pretty solid and was very well received. It only started to falter in the last season.
Yeah,
it
was pretty good.
But it was a pretty good show, and it did. But once again, it left a lot of things open. There were a lot of questions that were unanswered. They still never. They didn't until I believe at the very end, where they finally explained where the Immortals came from and why.
Well, see, I had stopped watching it by then.
Well, what they did is they actually released a television movie that finished off the show and tied in the show with Connor McLeod.
And then went to Highlander Endgame?
No, it was after Endgame.
Really?
I believe. I think so.
Because I thought Endgame was the thing that was supposed to wrap everything up because it had both of them in it.
I can't remember. Maybe. It might have been. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. But it was one of those things where it's just kind of like, it got so convoluted. And I would love to see them to try and, honest to gods, maybe reboot it and try and create something that didn't suck. Because, we joke and we kid about it and everything, but they just did. They kind of kept fucking up with these movies. The second one, Highlander 2: The Quickening, is arguably one of the worst movies ever made. And even, they say, yes, the Renegade edition, the director's cut where they take out all the mentions, all the references to the aliens and Zeist and stuff, it makes it a better movie, but it's still a shit movie. Mm-hmm. It's still, it's basically you're polishing a turd. So it's just too bad, And then of course there was the third one with Mario and Peebles, and it's just.
But in the first one though, Kurgan is such a great villain.
It's eminently, the movie is eminently quotable, and he has some of the best quotes in the film.
And I actually went to a Halloween party as Kurgan once. I did the whole makeup with the safety pins through my neck and all that, to the point where I showed up at the bar because it was Michael's Wiggins bar, and I show up and one of the guys that is a regular up there that knew me, I walked up, said hi to him, and he turned around and he goes, "Oh, hi, Chris. Oh my God, what the fuck did you do?" I'm like, cool. I did a good job then.
That's cool. Yeah, that's good.
All right, so fifth one for you.
Fifth one for me. Let's go with some of my favorite movies of all time. I'm going to go with Return of the King, the third movie in the in the Hobbit or in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. We just finished, Stella and I, like maybe 2 weeks ago, we watched all three Hobbit movies because I kind of wanted her to watch Lord of the Rings, and I was like, I want you to get started with these because it really is a big part of the story. And but the Lord of the Rings films for me were it was proof positive that you could make fantasy and make it grand and beautiful, and you could, and I mean they pioneered technology and special effects with that. I mean, thanks to Weta Workshops and Peter Jackson and what he did, and I mean, it changed movie making, and they were just incredible, beautiful films. So, Return of the King, Lord of the Rings, absolutely.
Oh yeah, let them make a good Fantastic Four movie first, then they can try a new Highlander movie.
yeah. Okay, who said that?
Renee.
Yes, absolutely, Renee. Thank you. I didn't hate the first two Fantastic Four movies.
I didn't either.
But they could have been a lot better. They could have been better, but I didn't hate them. Particularly the second one, I thought the second one was actually superior to the
Rise
first one.
of the Silver Surfer.
Yeah, but yeah, god damn, that third one was just the worst ever.
All right. So for my fifth one,
go ahead.
I'm going to another Spielberg. It's Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Nice.
I think the best of the three Indiana Jones movies.
I'd have to agree. I would have to agree. That is one of my favorites. A friend of mine actually posted they were watching them, and they felt that that Crystal Skull was actually the best. Was better than, and I'm like, that is just blasphemous. That is fucking blasphemous. There's none are better than Last Crusade. And then my other friend Barbara was like, Raiders, and I go,
Raiders is damn good. Raiders was damn good.
Raiders was damn good, but Last Crusade was I mean, with Sean Connery and the dynamic between he and his father, and I mean, it was really, in my opinion, the best one. And I am worried about this next one that they're trying to put together, but we'll see. I mean, at least Spielberg's involved.
Yeah, so we'll see. So,
we'll see.
All right, number 6.
My number 6. You know what? As much as I want to go with like Iron Man and the modern, some of the more modern MCU movies, I think I'm going to go with the X-Men. I'm going to go with X-Men 2000. It was arguably kind of the beginning of the Marvel kind of renaissance, and I mean, most people would actually say Blade. A lot of fans or whatever, like myself. Blade was really the movie that made people go, oh, wait a minute, comic books? Yeah, we could make movies.
Well, a lot of people didn't
even
realize Blade was a comic book character when that movie came out.
They didn't. In fact, Marvel didn't even get in front of it until it was a success. Yeah. They sold it because Marvel was having problems. They were in the middle of bankruptcy reorganization. And so they started selling off their movie characters, their movie rights to some of their characters, and they bought the company. I think it was New Line bought Blade, and they're like, we can make a movie out of this, and they put Wesley Snipes in it. It was perfect. And they made 2 sequels. The first one was great. The second one, not that great, but it was okay. I had its moments. But Wesley Snipes himself was really good. Although, from what I understand, he was a complete prima donna by the third movie. He fought constantly with the director. He was a complete asshole about the whole thing. One of the reasons why kind of got taken out of the a lot of consideration for any kind of Black Panther movie that was going to be made later on, because they had talked about a Black Panther movie years ago, and they had attached him to it briefly. So Blade was really great, but I'd have to say the X-Men was where it really kind of kicked off. We had the X-Men. Then the Spider-Man movies came after that, and then eventually, in 2008, when we had Iron Man. But I really got to say, I think with Patrick Stewart as Professor X, with Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, Halle Berry as Storm, I think that was the beginning of something that really became incredible and a true renaissance.
Ray Park as Toad.
You know what? It wasn't great, but whatever. I mean, it was.
You know what happens to a toad when it gets struck by lightning?
Same thing as
that was such a horrible line.
One of the worst lines of all time. One of the worst lines of all time. And unfortunately, an amazing actress like Halle Berry had to say it. So, I don't know.
Yes,
but honestly,
yes,
yeah,
Howard the Duck was a comic book movie that was before Blade.
it was a Marvel movie that was before Blade. Who put
CD
that
did.
up? Because, okay, yeah, true. Howard the Duck was arguably the first cinematic Marvel movie. It was a critical failure.
I saw it mostly because Leah Thompson was in it, because I had the hots for her back then.
It was George Lucas's first big fucking failure too. Like, I mean, it was involved.
Let's say unless you want to count THX.
I don't even count that, but it was not that it counts. It doesn't count. It doesn't count.
Although they're
now if they were to remake
they're going to be doing a Howard the Duck TV show.
Yes, a cartoon. What I understand. But I mean, if they were to remake it now, they could probably remake it and make it cool.
I mean, he's in the MCU.
He is. He absolutely is. The X-Men, the original X-Men, I'd have to say, was fantastic. And even though, actually, and there are a lot of people who would say the X-Men 2 was superior. And I would say, for all intents and purposes, it was.
I'm not a huge fan of any of those, and the third one was so bad that I lost all respect for that series. For me, the sixth one, I'm kind of torn because there's so many movies that I still love, but I think I'm going to throw one out there that I haven't seen in a long time, but it is one of my all-time favorite kind of swashbuckling sword fighting movies, and it's Disney's The Three Musketeers.
I fucking love that movie. I fucking love it. It's so much fun.
It is.
It's really great. It's really great. I mean, I've heard people like, oh, it was so Hollywood. Oh, it was so... Who cares? It was, I mean, Dumas's Three Musketeers was supposed to be high, like, swashbuckling adventure. I mean, there has never been a Three Musketeers movie that was supposed to be taken, like, deathly seriously, you know? Honestly, you know what's a kind of a cool combination to watch is to watch that movie and then watch Man in the Iron Mask with Leonardo DiCaprio.
That was another great movie.
Because it really was, and because it's the same characters. Yep. A lot of people don't realize it's like the continuation of the Three Musketeers, and so it's the same characters like 25, 30 years later. It's kind of a cool kind of. Oh, it's like all right, right on. Yeah, so that's a fun movie. Fun. I loved that movie. That was great. We could keep going.
Let's do one more because I got one more that I really want to do. Unless you steal it from me here.
Let's see. Well, I gotta say, I think, God, there's so many movies I could choose right now, but I think I'm gonna go with Army of Darkness.
Oh, that's a good one.
Bruce Campbell. It was the thing that I posted earlier today on Facebook. My choice for the day. Bruce Campbell, hometown boy, one of a great character actor, one of the best, really. Fantastic guy, really, really fun guy, really good guy. It spawned. It was actually the third movie in the Evil Dead, trilogy. Although the first Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2 are really the same movie, just remade. But it was so much fun. It took that horror element and added the fantasy action film into it, and then on top of it, we get comic books and a TV show. A really great TV show that was made. For like 3 seasons of it, Ash versus the Evil Dead. The comic books were actually pretty cool that they'd made over the years. And then they also even remade Evil Dead, and it's actually, I mean, it's scary as fuck. It's creepy as fuck. It was, as horror movies go, I mean, I don't know about it as a remake, but I was entertained. But yeah, Army of Darkness, man, I saw that in the theater. When I was a teenager, and it's still one of my favorite movies of all time.
All right, for me, for my last one, I got to go with a movie that, when I had cable, anytime it was on, the remote just broke. It was funny because it just wouldn't go past it. I mean, it got stuck on there.
Just stop.
And that's The Fifth Element.
Oh, okay, right on. I thought you were going to go with Princess Bride, but yeah, The Fifth Element.
Princess Bride is another one that I love. I could have gone with that. I could have gone with Clerks. from Kevin Smith, because I mean that's another one that's one of my favorites. I mean, I could keep going on a bunch of these. I mean, including even going back to, I mean, Die Hard is another one, another Bruce Willis movie that ultimately quotable. It's just, I mean, there's a bunch of movies that I quote all the time, but
well, like I said, we could keep doing this all night. We could keep going all night, you know. But I know it's getting late. But yeah, The Fifth Element is such a great movie. It was. I love the design element. It's a distinctly European. Mobius was a sci-fi artist, sci-fi fantasy artist from France, I believe. He was the main concept artist behind the film. And as soon as I saw that movie and knowing his artwork, I was like, this is Mobius's work. And then I saw him as a concept and character artist in the credits. I was like, oh my God, it totally makes so much sense. It was such a good movie and had so eminently quotable and great characters.
Are you classified as human? No, I am a meat popsicle.
It's so good. So big bada boom. Big bada boom.
Multipass. Yeah, he knows it's a multipass. Put it away.
So good. Come in, my man. Come in, my man. Come in. I got no fire. Come in, my man.
All right.
One of the movies that made Chris Tucker's career too. So. But yeah, God, that was a great idea, man. You know, we haven't done that Schoolyard pick in a while. Guys, if you guys want to see us do an old school Schoolyard pick, for those of you who are just tuning in, we used to do these a lot. We'd pick our favorite teams, we'd pick our favorite superhero teams, we'd pick our favorite fantasy character teams, whatever. If you guys want to have us do that again, give us a subject, and we'll see if we can do that for another show, because that is a lot of fun and definitely is one of those things that we as nerds always kind of do.
Make lists.
We got to talk about that. Make lists. Hang on here. There we go. But yeah, there's always that discussion, who would win in this fight and who would win in that fight, and whatever. So that's where our inspiration for that came from. But in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, guys, you can find us on all the places you can find quality podcasting. Guys, we are on iTunes. We are on the Google Play Store. We are on Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, radio.com, and, of course, you can download and stream all of our shows at nerdswithalcoholshow.com, as well as now on Twitch and YouTube.
Yep. And you can follow us on most of the social medias. We are on Facebook, Nerds with Alcohol Show. We are on Twitter, @DrinkingNerds, Instagram, Drinking Nerds. And then we're also on Untapped. You can just look up Drinking Nerds, send us a friend request, and we will get you added.
Absolutely, guys. Remember, we're trying to get more followers on our Twitch channel.
Yeah, so if you can, give us a follow. Give it.
Tell your friends about us. Come and see us at 8 o'clock on Tuesday nights.
8 o'clock Tuesday nights, we're here. So
yeah, it was really great seeing all these new people in the chat, and we hope you come back and see us again. And I really love interacting with our audience, with the people, talking about. I love the response and whatnot. We are going to be having some more guests on soon. We've got some other things that we're brewing, other ideas and other things that are coming up down the pipe. So just stay tuned, man, and you can continue to listen to a couple of old nerds talk about nerdy shit.
So thanks for the follow tonight, guys. We got 2 new followers. The Use Sansol Soli and RKO 389 just followed us. So thanks a lot, guys. And all right. Well, I think that's going to do it. So on that note, until next time. Sláinte. Have a good week, everybody.
Yeah, it was a good one. Have a good week.
Good night.